To the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Yet, how often do we let our emotions, impatience, or desire to fill the silence get in the way of truly effective communication? Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling misunderstood or frustrated, like no matter what you said, the other person just didn't get it? Or maybe you faced moments where you tried to keep your cool, but your emotions got the best of you, and suddenly you're caught up some. We've all been there. Conversations that should build connections end up leaving us drained or even worse, further from the people we're trying to reach. But what if I told you that there's a way to completely transform the way you communicate? There's a way to stay calm, speak with purpose, and handle any conversation with unwavering confidence, all while controlling your emotions and avoiding drama. Sounds powerful, right? If you're tired of conversations that leave you stressed and want to gain control over how you engage with others, this video is for you. Let's dive into the Stoic approach to mastering communication and emotional control. 1. Steady confidence in every conversation. If you don't approach conversations with calm confidence, several problems can arise. First, you might end up talking too much or over-explaining yourself out of nervousness, which can come off as insecurity. You might also miss important cues from the other person, making the conversation feel one-sided. Worse, without calm confidence, you could react emotionally to small things, which could lead to awkwardness or misunderstandings. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you approach conversations calmly and confidently, you take control of how you respond rather than letting emotions dictate your actions. So how can you build calm confidence? First, slow down. Take a deep breath before speaking and remind yourself that you don't need to rush. Focus on what the other person is saying rather than worrying about what you'll say next. Practice makes perfect, so the more you engage in conversations with this mindset, the more naturally confident you'll become. 2. Speaking with intention, not just to fill the silence. If we don't learn to speak with purpose, we risk talking just to fill the silence. This can make us come across as insecure or nervous, causing others to lose interest in what we're saying. When we babble, we dilute our message. People may stop taking us seriously. Have you ever found yourself talking just to avoid an awkward pause? That kind of chatter often leads to meaningless conversations, which can make others feel disconnected or overwhelmed. As Marcus Aurelius said, "No one can keep you from speaking what is right, nor keep you from thinking what is right." This quote reminds us that it's not about talking more, but about speaking with intention and focus. The power lies in making sure your words are thoughtful and valuable. The next time you're in a conversation, pause before you speak. Ask yourself, is what I'm about to say necessary? Focus on delivering clear, thoughtful responses rather than rushing to fill the gaps. Let the silence work in your favor. People will notice that your words carry weight. It's okay to take a moment before you respond. This shows you're thinking deeply, not just speaking to speak. 3. How to handle rejection with emotional detachment. Rejection has a way of sticking with you, whether it's from someone you care about, a job you really wanted, or even from friends. It often leaves you feeling inadequate. The pain can linger, pulling you into a cycle of overthinking and self-doubt. If we don't learn how to emotionally distance ourselves from these experiences, rejection can eat away at our confidence, leaving scars that impact future opportunities. Instead of letting one setback define us, it's crucial to develop the strength to move past it. As Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." This quote reminds us that the challenges we face, like rejection, are opportunities for growth. Without these moments of friction, we wouldn't build the resilience needed to keep moving forward in life. The key to mastering this is by understanding that rejection is rarely a reflection of your true worth. Often it's a matter of timing, circumstance, or the other person's perspective. By accepting that rejection is just a part of life, you can start to see it as an opportunity to grow, rather than something to fear. Instead of dwelling on the what-ifs, shift your mindset and ask, what can I learn from this? This small shift allows you to view the situation objectively, removing the emotional weight that often accompanies rejection. Staying in the present moment also helps. When you're stuck replaying past mistakes or fantasizing about what could have been, You give rejection more power than it deserves. Refocusing on what you can control right now pulls you out of that mental loop, allowing you to regain your footing. Life is still moving forward, and so should you. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means acknowledging what happened and choosing not to let it hold you back. By approaching rejection with emotional detachment, you protect your sense of self-worth and keep pushing toward your goals. It's about embracing setbacks as part of your journey, not the end of it. 4. Staying calm in any situation. Life is unpredictable, and often things don't go as planned. Whether it's a stressful work meeting, a disagreement with someone close to you, or a frustrating situation on the road, it's easy to lose control and react impulsively. If we don't learn how to maintain composure during these moments, we allow our emotions to take over, leading to regretful actions or words we wish to take back. Losing our cool not only impacts our relationships, but also leaves us feeling powerless in the face of challenges. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote reminds us that while we can't control what happens around us, we always have control over how we respond. Our true strength comes from managing our reactions, not from trying to control the external world. To apply this lesson, start by acknowledging that you can't control every situation, but you can control your response. So when faced with a tense moment, pause. Take a deep breath and give yourself a few seconds before reacting. And this simple pause helps break the cycle of impulsive reactions and allows you to respond more thoughtfully. Another practical approach is to practice mindfulness. When you're mindful of your emotions, you can recognize when you're about to lose control. Instead of letting your feelings spiral, you can step back and assess the situation logically. Ask yourself, will this matter a week from now? Is this worth losing my peace over? More often than not, the answer is no. Lastly, focus on the bigger picture. In heated situations, emotions can cloud our judgment. But when you zoom out and see the situation for what it is, a temporary challenge, it becomes easier to maintain composure. By doing so, you not only handle the situation better, but also gain the respect of others for your calm and collected demeanor. Maintaining composure is about mastering yourself, even when the world around you seems chaotic. 5. Mastering the art of active listening. Active listening is an essential skill that many people overlook. If you don't practice it, you risk misunderstanding others, leading to conflict and missed opportunities for connection. Conversations can easily turn into a series of misunderstandings if you're only half listening or thinking about what to say next instead of truly engaging. This can leave both parties feeling frustrated and unheard. As Stephen R. Covey once said, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. This quote highlights a common issue. We often prioritize our response over truly understanding the other person. So when we focus on replying rather than listening, we lose the chance to connect on a deeper level. To improve your active listening skills, start by giving the speaker your full attention. But put away distractions like your phone or computer and make eye contact to show that you're engaged. Practice reflecting back what you hear, summarizing their points and asking clarifying questions. This not only shows you're listening, but also encourages deeper conversation. Remember, the goal of a conversation is not just to speak, but to understand and connect with others. 6. Stoic body language, communicating calm confidence without words. Mastering the language of the body is essential for effective communication. Without the right body language, even the best words can fall flat. If you don't pay attention to your gestures, posture, and facial expressions, you might send the wrong message or be misunderstood. This can lead to confusion and can even hurt your relationships. Have you ever spoken to someone whose body language seemed closed off? It makes the conversation feel awkward, doesn't it? This is why understanding Stoic body language is so crucial. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This quote reminds us that maintaining our composure and calmness, especially in tense situations, is essential. Your body language can either reinforce your message or contradict it entirely. By mastering Stoic body language, you can ensure that your nonverbal cues are in harmony with your words, projecting calm confidence and sincerity. To practice Stoic body language, start by being aware of your posture. Stand tall and keep your shoulders back. This not only shows confidence, but also helps you feel more confident. Make eye contact, but don't stare. It shows you are engaged without being intimidating. Use open gestures, avoid crossing your arms or turning away from the person you're speaking to. Nodding slightly while someone is speaking can show that you're listening and understanding. Lastly, practice mindfulness. Before entering a conversation, take a moment to relax and prepare mentally. This will help you project a calm demeanor, making it easier to connect with others. By aligning your body language with your intentions, you can enhance your conversations and create deeper connections. 7. Mastering emotional control, navigating life without drama. If we don't master our emotions, they can quickly take control of our lives. Imagine being in a situation where someone pushes your buttons, and instead of staying calm, you lose your cool, and you end up saying things you don't mean or reacting in ways you later regret. These moments of emotional outbursts can damage relationships, create unnecessary stress, and leave you feeling powerless. Failing to manage your emotions often leads to more drama, tension, and chaos in life. You might feel overwhelmed by small things, and every situation becomes an emotional roller coaster, draining your energy and happiness. A powerful quote from Epictetus reminds us, "It's not events that disturb people, it's their judgments concerning them." In other words, it's not the things that happen to us that cause our distress, but how we choose to react to them. Mastering emotional control is about understanding this distinction. When we allow our emotions to take over, we lose sight of reason and clarity. But if we recognize that it's our response, not the event itself, that matters, we regain power over how we experience life. And so how do we put this into practice? First, pause before reacting. When something happens that triggers you, take a deep breath and give yourself a moment. And this short pause allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Next, focus on what you can control. You can't always control how others act, but you can control your attitude and behavior. Letting go of the need to control everything else helps you stay calm and focused. Lastly, practice detaching from the emotions of the moment. It doesn't mean ignoring your feelings, but rather acknowledging them without letting them dictate your actions. Over time, this will help you maintain your composure, no matter the situation, and avoid unnecessary drama. 8. The power of thoughtful questions. Asking deep, thoughtful questions can transform a conversation from superficial chatter into a meaningful dialogue. If we don't make the effort to ask such questions, we risk missing out on genuine connections with others. Conversations can become stagnant, leaving both parties feeling unfulfilled and disconnected. Without curiosity, we may find ourselves stuck in small talk, never really getting to know the person in front of us. As the philosopher Søren Kierkegaard once said, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. So this quote highlights the importance of reflection and inquiry. By asking deep questions, we gain insights into others' thoughts, experiences, and emotions, and enrich our understanding of their lives. To cultivate this skill, start by being genuinely curious about the people you interact with, instead of defaulting to surface-level questions like, "How was your day?" Try asking, "What has been the most meaningful part of your week?" To listen actively to their responses. And don't hesitate to ask follow-up questions that encourage them to share more. For example, if someone mentions a recent achievement, you could ask how they felt during that experience. And this shows that you care and want to engage on a deeper level. Remember, the whole is to create a dialogue, not a monologue, so be prepared to share your own thoughts and experiences as well. 9. Embracing humble confidence in conversations. When we talk about confidence, we often imagine someone who is bold and loud. But true confidence doesn't need to be loud, it can be quiet and humble. If we don't embrace confidence without ego, we risk coming off as arrogant or insincere. People may feel put off by our need to show off or to dominate conversations. This can lead to missed opportunities for genuine connections, as others may not feel comfortable sharing their thoughts or feelings with someone who seems overly proud or self-important. As the famous author C.S. Lewis once said, "True humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less." This quote reminds us that being confident doesn't mean we have to think poorly of ourselves or diminish our worth. Instead, it's about being secure in who we are and not needing to prove ourselves to others. When we shift our focus away from our ego, we can create space for more meaningful conversations. To practice confidence without ego, start by actively valuing others' opinions and contributions in conversations, rather than dominating discussions. Make it a point to ask others for their insights and truly listen to what they have to say. Recognize that everyone brings something unique to the table, and by appreciating their perspectives, you not only enrich the conversation, but also show your confidence in your own abilities. Another useful tip is to focus on being genuinely curious. When you approach conversations with an open mind and a willingness to learn, it naturally diffuses the need to show off or assert your superiority. And this approach fosters respect and encourages deeper, more authentic interactions. By valuing others and seeking to understand them, you can build connections that are both confident and humble. 10. Understanding the power of emotional impact in conversations. In conversations, emotional impact can be a game changer. If we ignore this lesson, we risk saying things that hurt others or missing the chance to connect deeply. People remember how we make them feel far more than the specific words we say. If we speak without considering our emotional impact, we might come off as indifferent or even cruel, leaving the other person feeling hurt or misunderstood. As Maya Angelou wisely stated, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." This highlights the importance of being aware of our emotional impact. It reminds us that our words can resonate in ways we might not realize. To harness emotional impact in conversations, start by being present. Pay attention to the feelings of the person you're talking to. Use empathy to guide your responses. For example, if someone shares a personal story, acknowledge their feelings before jumping to advice or solutions. This simple act can strengthen your connection and foster a more open dialogue. Additionally, consider the tone of your voice and body language. They can significantly affect how your message is received. By being intentional with your words and actions, you create a conversation that leaves a positive and lasting impression. 11. The push-pull dynamic, finding balance in conversations. In conversations, understanding the push-pull dynamic is essential for effective communication. Without recognizing this balance, you may struggle to maintain engaging interactions, leading to feelings of frustration or disconnection. If you find yourself always dominating the conversation or feeling overshadowed, you might miss valuable insights and the chance to build meaningful connections. A fitting quote for this lesson is by Dale Carnegie. "You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you." This emphasizes the importance of balancing your input with a genuine interest in others. To navigate the push-pull dynamic effectively, start by observing the flow of conversation. If you notice you're speaking more than your conversation partner, consciously pull back and ask open-ended questions. For instance, instead of sharing your thoughts immediately, ask them about their experiences or feelings on a topic. This encourages a two-way exchange and shows that you value their input. Additionally, practice active listening. When the other person speaks, focus on understanding their perspective instead of planning your response. This shift not only enhances your connection but also creates a more balanced conversation where both parties feel heard and valued. Remember, effective communication is not just about sharing your thoughts. It's about creating a space where both voices can thrive. 12. Purposeful re-engagement, transforming conversations. Re-engaging with purpose is crucial in maintaining meaningful conversations. If you overlook this lesson, you may find that your discussions become dull or strained. When conversations lack depth, people often feel disconnected and bored, leading to misunderstandings or missed opportunities to connect. This can create an uncomfortable atmosphere, making both parties wish to escape rather than engage. As the philosopher Epictetus wisely noted, we have the power to choose our responses. This reminds us that we can choose how we engage in conversations, and that taking initiative can transform a dull exchange into a vibrant dialogue. By making a conscious effort to connect meaningfully, you can enrich your interactions. To re-engage with purpose, focus on actively participating in the conversation. Show genuine interest in what the other person is saying by nodding, maintaining eye contact, and responding thoughtfully. If the conversation starts to lag, don't hesitate to ask open-ended questions that encourage the other person to share more. For example, instead of asking, "Did you have a good weekend?" try asking, "What was the most memorable part of your weekend?" This invites them to dive deeper into their experience, creating a more engaging discussion. Additionally, be aware of any changes in their energy or body language. If they seem excited about a topic, lean into it and explore it further. By being present and intentional, you can create a richer, more fulfilling conversation that leaves both you and your conversation partner feeling connected and engaged. 13. Ending conversations with confidence and grace. Ending a conversation gracefully is an important skill that can leave a lasting impression. If we fail to do this, we might leave the other person feeling confused or unsatisfied. A conversation that ends awkwardly can linger in the minds of both parties, leading to discomfort or misunderstandings in future interactions. You want to ensure that you leave on a positive note, keeping the door open for future conversations. As the writer and philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "It is one of the most beautiful compensations of this life that no one can sincerely try to help another without helping themselves." And this quote reminds us that ending a conversation well not only helps the other person feel valued, but also enhances our own social connections and reputation. To end a conversation with grace, pay attention to the other person's body language and cues. When you sense that it's time to wrap things up, do so politely. You can summarize the main points discussed and express appreciation for the conversation. For instance, say something like, "I really enjoyed our chat about your problems with daily life. It's always enlightening to hear your perspective." This gives a sense of closure and shows that you valued the interaction. If appropriate, you might suggest a follow-up, like, "Let's continue this conversation over coffee sometime." Ending a conversation in this manner reinforces a positive connection, making both parties feel good about the interaction. As we wrap up, remember that mastering the art of conversation is not just about speaking. It's about understanding, connecting, and leaving a lasting impression. Each of these lessons can transform the way you engage with others, from staying calm under pressure to listening with intention, handling rejection, and maintaining emotional control. But here's the truth: none of this happens overnight. It takes practice, patience, and a commitment to improving yourself every day. Conversations shape relationships, opportunities, and even how you see yourself, so putting in the effort is worth it. So what will you do differently in your next conversation? Will you bring calm confidence, speak with purpose, or maybe just listen more intently? Start applying these principles and watch how the way you communicate and connect evolves. Write down a comment and say that how you are going to react in your next conversation. I will read each of your comments and feature one of the best comments in our channel. If you want daily dose of unfiltered motivation, subscribe to our channel.